Welcome back. Also, Mayor Steve Adler joining us this morning for Mondays with the Mayor. Thank you so much for being here today.
Always good to be back.
You know, the council always hard at work, and one of the things that has a lot of people talking is the land development code and the potential rewrite. Talk to us about what's happening with that right now.
Well, you know, I think we probably have moved the ball more in the last few weeks than we probably did over the last 4 or 5 years. I think what was really missing in the process was the council actually weighing in on really base policy questions, the hard questions, the difficult questions. The manager gave us 5 questions, and he said, can you as a council actually give me answers on these 5 questions? And the council did, and not only gave answers on those 5 questions, but wrote 20 pages, additional detail answers to those questions, their directions to the city manager, who will now take them away and bring a new rewrite of the Land Development Code to the community and the council and the Planning Commission, probably in the fall time frame.
Wow, and when we think about Code Next, and actually we should take a step back for people who aren't sure what the Land Development Code is, that just kind of explains what and where things can be built in Austin. It's our rules of how we use our land. And so it was called, before we had it Code Next. And that was a long process. So how do you think the city manager is going to be able to do it in such a short amount of time?
Well, I think all the work that happened over the years is informing what's happening now. I mean, that was great work, great conversations. But now I think we actually have to take it to a product that people can vote on. The one thing we're sure is that the status quo is not serving us well. With our code now, we have displacement of people and gentrification and localized flooding and localized traffic issues. We know that our current code is not serving us well. We need a new code, and that is going to involve some measure of change, and some measure of change is always hard. But if we're going to preserve and protect what it is that's wonderful about the spirit and soul of this place, we're going to have to make some hard choices. We're going to have to put a lot more development on our commercial corridors. We're going to have to let residential units be built on our commercial corridors. We're going to have to transition from the corridors into the neighborhoods, which means we need some transition areas with duplexes and triplexes, housing forms, things that look like houses, but have additional units that you see in other kinds of cities, but we just don't have in Austin. We need to increase the supply of housing. And then we need to tie all the new entitlements, or most of them, to affordability, so that we start creating a lot more units that will always be available to people that make 80% of mean family income, that are constrained that way. And we do that not just with the Land Development Code, but we need the Land Development Code to be part of that.
Right, and you know, there is another project going on right now with the city, Affordability Unlocked, to also work towards that goal. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, it's the same kind of effort, but now we're focusing with a smaller group of properties. The voters just approved $250 million to invest in affordable housing. And we see that some of the city rules, when we build an affordable housing project with public resources, our limitations on development, on parking and setback and compatibility, might limit an affordability project to 80 units. But if we relax those units for a project where 50%, half of the units are going to be for low-income folks, if we relax those, rather than 80 units in a project, maybe we can get 110. So it's a way to unlock affordability. It's a way to better leverage the public dollars that we've gotten, to allow in these special projects a little bit more height or a little bit more density, a little less setback, in order to be able to really make the public investment go farther.
Again, the most of those available spaces.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Mayor Adler, we thank you so much for being with us this morning to discuss all of this. Obviously, we'll be watching what the council is doing. We'll be right back.
Thank you.